Happy Friday and welcome into another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla. Of course, I'm your mayor of PHNX. This guy's your vice mayor, your thunderstick, your journalist extraordinaire, the one and only Jesse Friedman. And of course, we are thrilled to be joined.
And I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, she's here for the ride. She's our photographer extraordinaire. It's the one and only Danielle Cortez. Danielle, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I am honored to be here with the mayor.
Oh, well, listen.
And the vice mayor.
And the vice mayor, of course.
Thank you.
Stop making it all about you all the time.
This is the first time I've ever been on a show with Danielle.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Welcome in.
Danielle's like usually my replacement when I'm
Correct.
on.
As
So.
a matter of fact, when he found out Danielle was coming on, he was like, "Oh, do I still come in?"
Yeah,
Yes, you still come
that means
in,
I'm not
Jesse.
supposed to be here, right?
Of course, we are brought to you by the fine folks at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. We actually have some Arizona Diamondbacks news. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the Arizona Diamondbacks announced yesterday their Gold Glove finalists on the team. They have 4, but 3 that are still currently on the team. Shout out to David Peralta, the Freight Train, for getting the the finalist nominee for left field. We also have Alek
In
Thomas
the National League, too.
in the National League, so
which
it's
is kind of
definitely
weird
not-
because he no longer plays
doesn't
in
play
the
here
National
anymore.
League, but he played more games with the D-backs than he did with the Rays.
That's
so
what I was going to say. Is that what it boils down to?
Yeah, I
Is the
think
amount of
that's
games he played?
that's how it works.
That happened with Zach Greinke, too. If I remember right, when they traded him to
Yeah.
Oh,
to
the
Houston.
Astros.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it
still
sounds
still
right.
got it with the D-backs. So we also have Alek Thomas in center field, of course. The guy that has all the tools, Daulton Varsho, gets nominated not for one position, but for 2. Because, of course, Daulton Varsho nominated for right field and for our special favorite new award, the Super Utility Award, which we know he's going to take because, of course, Daulton Varsho has all the tools. And lastly, Christian Walker nominated for first base, which we've talked about all season long. He led the league, all first basemen in defensive runs saved, as well as was pretty much at the top of MLB in defensive runs saved for any position.
Are we sure that Daulton Varsho shouldn't be nominated for like third base or second?
No,
like,
give him for everything. Like, make him a finalist.
Yeah, like
for
even if he
everything.
didn't play there, like he
Yeah.
probably would have been an elite defender at that position. So
I feel like his defense is strong enough at other positions that it should carry over.
I feel like it's
I think he'll play good third.
yeah,
And I
it
think
feels,
he
it
should.
feels
Yeah.
like a college football preseason poll.
Right,
Right.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
on paper, like it sounds like they'll be good, right?
If he
Just give
if
it
he
to
played
him.
second, he'd have like 20 defensive runs saved. So give it to him there too.
Daulton Varsho, unfortunately, I don't want to rain on the parade here.
Here he
but
comes.
Here I come.
Well, actually, Jesse.
Yeah, well, actually, me. I think Tommy Edman is going to win the utility spot.
Oh, come on.
Tommy Edman.
Come
Tommy
on.
Edman plays both second base and shortstop, and I think the fact that Daulton Varsho has played so much right field just maybe not being quite as valuable a defensive position as like those spots up the middle.
Sir, right field, center field,
Catcher.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, he's doing it all. Tommy Edman, I don't think he's a catcher like Daulton Varsho is. Daulton Varsho does indeed have all the tools. But when it comes down to looking at the numbers, I think Tommy Edman probably has the upper hand. Daulton Varsho in right field, it's wild. Mookie Betts has logged literally more than twice as many innings in right field as Daulton Varsho, and yet they're like neck and neck in terms of the defensive metrics. Daulton Varsho has been just as valuable as Mookie Betts in half of the reps, basically, in right field. So that one's close. He hasn't, I think it's like 500 innings he's played in right field this year, which is not a lot. It's pretty rare. I don't know if it's ever happened that someone has won a Gold Glove Award at a position where they played that few innings.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the obstacle for him there, but there is a case to be made. The numbers in right field are insane.
What about Christian Walker's chance at winning first base? I feel like he probably has the best chance of any of the players listed as being an actual Gold Glove winner.
I feel like he has to be the lock, right? I mean, you just watch. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
If he doesn't win, we riot.
But yeah, no,
I mean,
there's no. I mean, Goldie. I mean, he's taking a step back defensively, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you watch
Yeah.
the games, you get the like. He's not. I mean, he's still Paul Goldschmidt, right? But
Right.
like, he's not the Goldie that we had here. Matt Olson, perennial like Gold Glove finalist always. But Christian
he's
Walker
good.
has just been so much
Yeah.
better than not just the National League, American League, the whole thing.
Yeah, he's the best
He is
first
just by
baseman.
far the best first baseman. It's really interesting to me that this is his third Gold Glove nomination
Yeah.
final. For a guy who had a reputation coming up into his career as a liability on defense.
Yeah.
Well, Goldschmidt wasn't highly thought of defensively either.
Yeah.
I think a big part of it is when he doesn't play first base, you realize how much we take him over there for granted. His ability to make some of those grabs look easy, his ability to stretch, just his defense in general over there playing, the position, right? But he kind of does it quietly in a way that is easy to forget how good he actually is. But he leads the league in a few defensive categories.
Yeah,
right?
and first base is kind of like a forgotten position, right?
Yeah,
you don't really think if you have a good first baseman, you don't think about it. Right, the only time you think about first base is if you have a bad first baseman.
He catches the ball, he can move like 2 feet to his right, 2 feet to his left. Christian Walker this year, it's honestly insane. So he has 17 defensive runs saved. Next highest mark for a first baseman is 6. Christian Walker has 17.
Ridiculous.
So if he doesn't
almost
win
3 times,
the system is utterly
flawed.
broken.
It's flawed and will never be repaired. I think that there is something to be said about the outfield getting nominated the way they did. David Peralta, as Michael McDermott talked about in the comments, said that Peralta should win his Gold Glove. He's the only good defender in left field of the group. I think that, honestly, there's a good chance that Varsho wins it in right field based on maybe not the amount of time, like you said, Jesse, not the amount of time that he played there, but what he's done like overall. If he doesn't win that utility award, he should kind of get credited for his defense in center field as well as right field for that right field award. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Yeah. Varsho's been like, he's moved around so much that it's hard for him to win an award. But I don't know if I feel quite as confident as Michael that Varsho will win in right field, but the case is there. It's just a matter like, are you going to let someone who played 500 innings in right field win that award? If you're comfortable doing that, then I think he should win it. So
do you think they missed on anybody being nominated as a finalist on the Diamondbacks team defensively?
On the Diamondbacks, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't really see anyone else as being. The D-backs defensively are almost a little bit top heavy. Like they have a few elite defenders, and a lot of the other guys don't actually grade out that well defensively. So Emmanuel Rivera was really good at third base, but there's just not enough of a sample there for him to qualify. Right. There's also guys like Manny Machado who play third base in the National League that
might be an issue.
Bit of an obstacle there. So I don't think anyone got snubbed. Zach Davies and Zach Gallen are both good defenders on the mound.
Sure.
So I wouldn't have been shocked to see them in there. I'm not sure the numbers necessarily favor that though. So I don't think there's any egregious snubs on that front.
Yeah, I would have said both the Zachs in the rotation as well. But I don't think they're good enough to warrant a finalist nod, right?
They're not Zach Greinke, who's the ultimate Zach.
The other King Zach. He's King Zach. Just like Austin Nola is King Brother, he is King Zach. I will say this: next year we're gonna see Corbin Carroll here.
Yeah, we are, baby.
Yeah,
man.
I think, and that's like one thing, like you said, you brought up. I think it's one of the things, if you want to say that hampered anybody's ability to be nominated that weren't nominated, it's the amount of time they had either on this team, on the main roster, or just in their position.
Yeah. And one thing that we didn't talk about, how crazy it might be that somebody will win 2 Gold Gloves in 1 year. We ever think about
Daulton Varsho?
Yeah, Daulton Varsho could win. Hey. We're talking about like, should he win at either of these? Yeah, probably.
Jesse,
maybe.
That's like, Jesse doesn't believe he's going to win.
He doesn't either, but there's a possibility that he wins 2 Gold Gloves. How cool is that?
Do you think they have a rule built in where you can only you can be nominated for multiple, but you can't win multiple?
No,
that would be.
I don't know the answer.
I can't imagine.
Probably not.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Because
maybe next year Daulton Varsho could win 3 of them.
Yes,
center field, right field, and utility.
Just have to
Silver Slugger.
Let's just focus in on 2 solid positions that he can
Silver
win.
Slugger, Cy Young,
and then he can also get the utility award, right?
Yeah, the moment that Daulton Varsho wins a Cy Young award, that's when we know we've maybe gone a little too far.
Elizabeth says if Varsho wins both, he has all the tools and all the hardware. So that's the way that works. So that's exciting, and I'm very excited to see. Of course, all of you guys here with us today, make sure if you haven't done so already to sign up for a membership over at gophnx.com. Make sure to get either an annual membership, you get a free t-shirt like the good boy Cody the Coyote over here on the wall, or any shirt that you want from the PHNXlocker.com, or you get your month-to-month membership, and you will get your first month for just 50 cents. Regardless of your membership status, we will give you members-only access to our Discord, which is really worth the price of admission alone. I mean, I think I got kicked out of that chat. I can't even get back into it because you guys just took it over and usurped me as mayor, but it's fine. I deserve it. You can also get members-only access to some of our events, as well as members-only discounts over at the PHNXlocker.com. If you're watching us right now here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, we thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our shows go live. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, please subscribe to us there. Leave us a review, whatever you feel Jesse deserves. And we'll just credit all reviews to
I'm a
Jesse.
5-star guy.
He's a 5-star man. He's a 5-star man.
5-star vice mayor.
There you go. There you go.
Of course, we have more to talk about within the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. But before we do that, we want to do a little thing we call spying on our exes around these parts, because we found some very interesting information about a player that we did not know was still playing, folks. We did not know this man. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to get my hat on properly for this. Let's go. Fernando Rodney still plays baseball, folks. I don't know if you knew that. We didn't, but yes, Fernando Rodney, the ageless wonder. We talk about Justin Verlander being an ageless wonder. My God, this man is almost going to be 46 years old, and he is still playing not only in the Mexican League, but he is currently playing in the Dominican Winter League. He does not stop. He's refusing. He will die on the baseball field closing a game. That's where Fernando Rodney's life will end. I love this man so much, and you got to give credit where credit's due for someone that's still throwing the ball at 45 years old.
He was old when he played here.
I know.
Yeah.
That was a long
I am
time
aware
ago.
of that. I am fully aware of that.
He was 41 when he played here.
We were
Yeah.
saying he was over the hill. We throw him in that
Man.
conversation of the Diamondbacks acquiring older players that are on the other side of their
5
career.
years ago.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Jesse?
So do people want Fernando Rodney back
Yes.
in Arizona?
Yes.
That's,
Why not?
that's the question I have in my head.
I mean,
We brought Oliver Perez back last year.
That's
Why
true.
not? Like, give him
That's
a
true.
shot.
And it looked good for about a week, and then it didn't look so good after that. But
in
I don't
three,
even know if it lasted a week.
it might not have even. Yeah, it was like a couple of appearances. And that was
First
that.
batter looked great, and
Yeah.
all downhill.
hold on. Let's just give some stats from this year, shall we? In playing for Tijuana in the Mexican League, he had a 3.46 ERA in 39 games.
Wow.
Amazing.
And then right now in the Dominican Winter League, in 3 games, he's allowed 1 hit in 3 innings of work, no runs.
Oh man,
Come
that's our
on.
guy.
Come on, what's his agent's number? Let's get this man on the phone instantly.
The level of competition in the Mexican League and the Dominican Winter League is definitely the
What has
same.
happened, Jesse?
It's major league quality, yes, for sure.
You're a monster. I'm just telling you that right now. But
Do you think
anyway.
he still does? Like, do you think he still does the whole routine?
Oh
He
God,
still
he
has
better.
the-
Oh God,
still
he
has the
better.
hat
It's
tilted?
part of
Is
the
he
package.
closing games? Do we know that?
I don't. He's definitely in relief because in 3
Okay.
games he only has 3 innings pitched. So I imagine sounds like he's
I
closing.
mean, could you imagine like Fernando Rodney's like an 8-inning like starting pitcher, like 250 innings or something in the Mexican
no, I
League this
can't
year?
imagine that. I absolutely can't imagine that. But of course, not to discredit Fernando Rodney, but the Arizona Diamondbacks probably won't be acquiring his contract anytime soon. But there are some organization all-stars that have been named that they probably will be knocking on the door of some of these guys really soon. Jesse, who do we have as the D-backs organization all-stars? Now, these are within the minor league system, right? So
Yes.
these would be minor league players that are their players of the year at different positions. So lay it on us, Jesse. What do we got?
Yeah, so this is done by MILB.com. They go position by position across every big league organization, and they choose players from their minor league teams as being the organization all-star at each of them. So at catcher, we have Juan Centeno. Hoping I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
He's a 32-year-old journeyman. The guy has been in the Diamondbacks farm system for a long time. And
Sounds like they should call him up and put him in the bullpen.
yeah, clearly that's the only reasonable course of action here. Yeah, I mean, he just had a really good year. He made them spent time both in Amarillo and Reno, and if you look at his numbers, he just played really well. He set personal best in games, runs, hits, total bases, doubles, home runs, RBIs. He slugged .512. He had an .867 OPS. This was also his 7th minor league season in which he batted at least 300. So he's 32. He's sort of like an organization guy. I'm not sure what his prospect of getting called up to the big leagues at some point looks like, but seems like he did everything he possibly could have done this year. So
just give him a call, man.
Yeah,
just
do
do it.
Call. At first base, they have Leandro Cedeno, who is most well known for hitting my car with a baseball here in Phoenix that he hit in Amarillo as a sod poodle.
That's where that landed.
That's where it landed. It broke my windshield.
527
foot home
right
run.
into the Scion exes.
That's right. You know what? It's funny because it really did go into the parking lot, and I'm 99% sure it hit someone's car.
It probably did.
Yeah, they had to have hit someone's car. But this man is a menace, and I can't wait to see him hopefully on the Diamondbacks roster soon.
Yeah. He's just, I mean, he had a great year overall. He finished the year in AA, and the Diamondbacks, I think, have some high hopes for him moving forward. I don't believe they technically have him under contract for next year, so he is a guy that they would have to sign back as a minor league free agent in order to have him back. But yeah, Josh Barfield said that it's not just raw power, which of course you've all seen with the 527-foot home run.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he talked about him being a pretty good hitter at the same time, and having a shot to maybe, progress into the big leagues at some point. He's only 24, so it's not like he's, been in the minors for 10 years or anything like that. So, yeah, he's an exciting young player.
Who else we got?
Second base, we have Christopher Torrin.
Ooh, Torrin. I love Torrin.
Yeah, who is a 17-year-old in rookie ball, which it is not common to see guys who are that young on a list like this. But yeah, he had 53 hits in 50 games played. He had 37 walks against just 20 strikeouts. He had 21 stolen bases as well, and 899 OPS. So yeah, Josh Barfield was very impressed with what Christopher Torrin did, and not a name we've really talked about a whole lot. He doesn't really show up on top prospect lists. It's pretty hard to show up on top prospect lists when you're 17 and you're that far away from the majors. But he's done pretty much everything you could possibly have hoped for. So
I think the best thing there is there's 14 players across minor league that had with 200 plate appearances and a strikeout percentage lower than 10%, and he is one of them. So.
And how many of them were 17
and how many of them were 17? Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Like Michael McDermott said, he'll be on a prospect list next year. Absolutely, for sure. Third base, Davison De Los Santos, who we've had a chance to see.
No surprise there.
League. Right, yeah, no surprise there. Dude's a beast, man. I saw him yesterday. He did not play, but he stood very close to me, and I haven't had a chance. Like, kind of reminds me of the first time I see Alek Thomas, because you get used to the terrible pictures from when they were in high school. That is the only thing you can find when you look them up on like a search engine. So it's like standing next to him makes you realize just how much larger he's gotten in a relatively short amount of time. He's a big dude.
Yeah, Davison De Los Santos is a monster.
Yeah.
He is a big dude, and he's gonna be making an impact pretty soon.
I think we've seen him struggle a bit in Arizona Fall League, but again, like we've seen a lot of the Arizona prospects struggle. It's not anything new. We've seen a lot of prospects in general struggle. Zach Dean seems to be the only one that's not having a hard time.
It seems to be pretty league wide over the last 2 years. I mean, last year the level of play at the Arizona Fall League was horrendous. Yeah. And this year ain't much better. So honestly, I think it's just a league. I don't put a whole lot of stock into Arizona Fall League.
I think the reason why I think it's kind of new to these guys is it really is like an all-star of minor leagues in a way, right? So sometimes you are facing the top prospects, and you haven't really faced that consistent level of competition elsewhere at times.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a lot of pressure on, man. I mean, like I've said about Fall League, the stands are filled with scouts, and you're sitting there as a fan or as a young player looking at all that and wondering about how today is going to impact your life, your career. I mean, it seems drastic, but there's a lot of pressure you could put yourself in a Fall League situation, I think, versus being on a minor league team and just playing a normal season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's such a gap between like pitching as well. So you get like the top pitching prospects out there throwing 100 miles an hour.
I know.
And then you got a high A like 20-year-old out there throwing like
De Los Santos is just very raw.
And so
barely touched double A.
As a hitter, like you can't adjust to that. Like it's hard to go from 100 miles an hour to this kid who's barely getting it over the plate, right?
And can't make it in the strike zone, but you're still swinging at the stuff because you're used to what you were seeing the last inning.
So I don't put a whole lot of stock into the Arizona Fall League stats.
Again, another no surprise at shortstop was Jordan Lawler, who of course we've seen a lot of in the Arizona Fall League.
Can you imagine if it wasn't Jordan Lawler?
No, I can't. I really can't.
I can't even name another shortstop. It's Jordan Lawler.
He gets far more attention than anyone else, and for good reason. Jordan Lawler had a monster year. It's not often that you see a guy touch 4 different minor league levels in one season, and I mean, he was just drafted last year, so like this is his first full season of pro ball, and I think it's safe to say he made the most of it.
Yeah,
he was pretty good.
Yeah. Who do we got in the outfield?
In the outfield, we have Dom Canzone.
Hey, Dom Canzone.
In a corner outfield spot. Dom Canzone in AAA this year. That's where he spent most of his time. He had an injury stint or two throughout the year. He's a little different than a lot of the other outfield prospects the D-backs have. We've kind of gotten used to this, fast, like really good defender, maybe not as much power sort of a profile because they have like 7 of those guys.
Where are you going with this?
Dominic Canzone actually has power is where I'm going with this.
You're like, we're used to these handsome, in shape, fast, good outfielders, and then there's Dom Canzone.
You're right. My build-up made it sound like I was about to say that Dom Canzone sucks or something, which he does not. Dom Canzone is he had a big year for the Diamondbacks in the minor leagues. Of course, AAA numbers. It's always hard to know how much to read into that, but yeah, he's a guy who really is deserving of big league time next season. The power, I think, is probably the most attractive asset there, just that the D-backs don't necessarily have a whole lot of that. He is left-handed, so that's great. But yeah, I think he's a candidate to be moved in a trade, frankly, or maybe there's a way that they can find room for him on the big league roster next year, but he doesn't have much left to prove in the minors at this point. He really should get the nod in the big leagues pretty soon.
I think the problem here, and for any of these outfielders we name, is the idea that they have to find a way to get time when this outfield is already stacked. It's stacked now on the major league roster as well as stacked with the guys that are ready to come up. So I think there's a lot of pressure there. I think there is the ability for there to be a competition and perhaps bring the best out of some of these guys because they know that. We talked to Cooper Hummel, and it's still one of the funniest conversations I've had with a player ever because he was so like, it wasn't even like a joke, but he was kind of just like looked at me like I was crazy when I was like, because I asked him like what he was doing out at Arizona Fall League, and he was like, I'm just trying to get some more reps behind the plate. And I said, oh yeah, like good luck, playing in this outfield. He's like, I was like, why were you getting more reps behind the plate? And he's like, have you seen this outfield? Like, I'm never gonna play in this outfield ever again. Like,
poor guy.
Ever. I know that now. And I think to me it was funny because he was doing it in a very joking way, but he was very serious and he was very like self-aware. Like the talent level out there has exceeded my ability to be as impactful as the players that they have, right? Yeah. So it's like good luck getting playing time, not only with that, but with guys like this coming up. Right?
Yeah, and Drew Jones is coming up in 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Like,
who else do we got to round out the outfield?
We have Stone Garrett.
Hey, that guy. I know that guy.
Friend of the show.
Friend of Cheerston Susel.
Yes, right. Is it Susel?
Susel. It's Susel.
Okay, because you keep saying that, and every time it's on
purpose.
It just gets at me. Anyway,
it's to bother her.
Stone Garrett has a lot of power. He's a very buff man. There's no question about that.
A little bit.
Yeah. his role going into next year, again, it's hard to figure out how these things are going to shake out. The fact that he's a right-handed hitter certainly does him some favors moving forward. And he had a good year for the D-backs. Like, it's hard to ask for much more than what he did after getting called up toward the end of the season. So we'll have to see.
Michael McDermott makes a good point. I don't see why Stone gets awarded, but Carroll did not.
I think they're just tired of giving Corbin Carroll awards at this point. Maybe
giving you all the flowers. Get out of here. Scram.
Well, you know what I love about Stone Garrett?
What's that?
That guy goes up there and he swings as hard as he possibly can every single time. No matter where that pitch is, no matter what his approach, he's going out there to hit that ball 527 feet.
We've talked about
528 feet.
There's the normal swing, there's the contact swing, and then there's the power swing.
And then there's Stone Garrett.
There are no other buttons to Stone Garrett.
Stone Garrett.
It's circle all the time.
Stone Garrett's hitting circle.
Isn't it square?
Square, yeah.
I think circle is the contact swing.
Maybe this is why I'm not that good at this game.
Yeah, it explains a lot. Derek plays MLB The Show on Rookie.
Shut up, Jesse.
You don't have to tell
everybody. You don't have to tell everybody that comes in here. God. Anyway, who else we got?
We've got Dominic Fletcher. The other Dominic in AAA, and Dominic Fletcher is a very similar player to the prototype of outfielder the Diamondbacks have. Maybe prototype isn't the right word. Prototypical. There we go.
Hey, the D-backs got a type. That's all
they got a type.
They sort of do. They sort of do. Dominic Fletcher is 5'9". 185 pound, and he does hit left-handed. So it's a pretty similar profile to some of the other guys that have come up. He's a really good defender. He has a great arm. I think those are really what he's best known for, but he does have a lot of speed as well. Again, it's going to be tough to figure out how to get him in the lineup. I know Michael McDermott made a good point before. Maybe you don't want to trade guys necessarily because you want depth as well. If one of the guys at the big league level goes down, you've got one of these guys in a good position to fill that spot. But it's also, Dominic Fletcher on another team would probably be a guy they would plug into the lineup
for sure, on
a consistent basis and really want to see what they have. So the D-backs have a lot of guys in that position right now.
Last but certainly not least is Brandon Pfaadt. Our guy Brandon Pfaadt getting the right-handed star getting the pitcher organization All-Star. And of course, no surprise there. He was their minor league pitcher of the year, and he has just been highly touted this entire time. So it's been great to see his success, and it's exciting to know that he is coming. That's one thing that the Diamondbacks have kind of been short on, has been hopeful arms coming from the minor leagues. Now, I will say Dre Jameson has worked out much better, and Ryan Nelson have both worked out much better than I think we could have hoped for. And hopefully we'll see the same out of Pfaadt when he gets called up inevitably. I imagine pretty soon into next season. Yeah,
it could be opening day. They could wait.
He keeps saying Brandon Pfaadt's going to open. He's going to play on opening day.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
He's throwing it out there. It's not going to happen, but I love his.
I think it's possible just because with the new collective bargaining agreement, teams are incentivized to have Rookie of the Year candidates on the roster from day one.
He doesn't hear what he's saying. He's not going to start on opening day, Jesse.
No, you're right. He's not going to be the opening day starter, but he could be in the starting rotation on opening day is the point I'm trying to make. They actually do have two more on this list. Brandon Pfaadt's the right-handed starter. The left-handed starter is Yu-Min Lin.
What a weird way to categorize
I know, it's
pitchers.
A little weird.
Okay.
Yu-Min Lin is their pick for left-handed starter. He just absolutely destroyed rookie ball and then went up to Visalia and continued to pitch extremely well. Yu-Min Lin has like 7 pitches. It's
oh my God.
Wild.
Oh my God.
And he hasn't really risen up prospect lists too much yet, just because a lot of scouts don't really know too much about him yet. I think he's sort of flown under the radar, but Josh Barfield said he's not fully physically developed yet. He still touches 93 miles an hour regularly. He's 19 years old. So there might be
throws 93 there. And has 6 other pitches. Let's
go. That's a pretty compelling resume that he's already built. And then they also have a spot for a relief pitcher, and that goes to Kyle Backus, who we've seen pitch in the Arizona Fall League.
Quite a bit. Kyle Backus has looked pretty good in the Arizona Fall League at times. Definitely, we've seen him have some shutdown innings and have some pretty good stuff. So it's exciting to see. Like, again, the prospects for the Arizona Diamondbacks tend to constantly be clouded by the the places that they play. So it's such a hard it's hard to judge the actual talent sometimes pitching wise that the Diamondbacks have when they're playing in Reno and in Amarillo, as Jesse has detailed about those two places.
Heung-min Lin was born in 2003.
2003.
Oh my gosh. You know what I'm really excited about? I can't remember a time when the D-backs had exciting, hard-throwing pitching prospects.
Yeah, right.
For the longest time. You know, we go back to the Kevin Towers days, right? He liked weird arm angles. He couldn't care less about how hard you threw.
Yeah.
You know, even up to
he just wanted you to be a submariner all the time.
Yeah. And up till now, D-backs haven't had a hard thrower since, maybe Yohan Lopez.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, he wasn't much of a pitching prospect.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly the best prospect.
No.
I can't remember the last time I've been excited about a D-backs pitching prospect. And now they got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be back to Archie Bradley, Braden Shipley back then.
He threw pretty hard as a starter originally. And then
lost it. And then threw hard as a
and then he threw hard again as a reliever.
And then lost it.
Yeah, now he lost. Yeah.
So it's really exciting, just in general, the vibe around D-backs baseball going into next year, but especially pitching.
Yeah. And again, I think the thing about it is the ones that we were kind of skeptical of how they would do at a major league level based on their numbers from the minor leagues have kind of come up and been awesome. Yeah. So again, I know that sometimes it's a matter of coming back down to earth or whatever, but if Ryan Nelson and Dre Jameson can keep up similar production next season and we can add Brandon Pfaadt to it, there seems to be no limit to where this starting rotation could potentially go. Yeah. Especially when you talk about it being led by Zach Gallen as the ace and Merrill Kelly as the number 2 starter, or Merrill Kelly at that point might even fall in at a number 3 or number 4. I mean, who knows? No offense to Mainstay, because he deserves to be number 1 in everyone's hearts at the very least. But that's their organization all-stars. So those are basically some minor league players for you to look out for, not necessarily in the near future, but some of them in the near future for sure. There's a variety of guys peppered in there from 19-year-olds to 32-year-old journeymen. So
there you go.
That's the fun of minor league baseball.
I mistakenly said that Leandro Cedeno finished the year in AA. He did hit AAA at the end of the year, and that's likely where he would start next year. So just wanted to correct that.
Michael McDermott says, my prediction. Michael, do you just want to come in here? Just fucking come down here. Jesus. Michael says, my prediction for Ryan Nelson is he's the team closer by the end of the 2024 season. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. We're going to have to archive that one and come back to that one and see if that one
we keep receipts around here.
Yeah, we keep receipts. We keep receipts for sure. Make sure to check out our friends at OG's if you haven't done so already. Of course, OG's is the leading edibles maker here in the state of Arizona. And of course, they have done something wonderful by giving us flavoring our dreams with one of the best sleep edition gummies you can find on the market. Don't sleep on these. That's a joke, but of course, you heard me right. I did that. Of course, check out OG's new Sleep Edition gummy. It is a 2-to-1 THC to CBN ratio. CBN is a compound that helps specifically with falling asleep and staying asleep. And this Sleep Edition gummy is in their new aquaberry flavor. So, of course, if you are interested in trying OG's gummies, make sure to check them out at their website, online at ogsbrands.com, or on Instagram at ogsbrands. They have a wide variety of doses and flavors and strains for you to pick from. You can find them at your local dispensary. Must be 21 years or older to purchase. Hugs and Bugs says, I don't dream when I'm high. Oh, that's sad. I have the best dreams when I'm high, but of course.
That's probably the best part, right?
I mean, that's a little bit. Sometimes they can be too real in the dreams. But that's a whole other thing. Of course, shout out to our friends over at Four Peaks Brewing Company. Of course, spooky season is almost over. So make sure before it ends, you get a chance to go out to the 8th Street Pub and check out their haunted brewery tours, which you can participate in Monday through Wednesday, 2 tours per night. And while you're there, check out the chicken tenders. By the way, Totri calls Jesse Tendies. And that's my favorite nickname that I think I've ever heard anybody call anybody.
Because he thinks that he says I look like the type of person.
I know.
He says I look like the type of person who would order chicken tenders wherever I go.
Yeah.
which of course is no, it's not.
So he just comes in casually the other day when Jesse and I are eating in the break room and just says, "What up, tendies?" And that made me fucking laugh harder
I
than
just
most
have gotten used to it.
Yeah, he didn't bat an eye. He said, "What'd you call him? What'd you call Totri?"
I call him Torty now.
Torty. Yeah, he's called Torty.
People like to misspell Totri and make it Torty.
It is Torty.
I think it's kind of funny. So.
But of course, that's the kind of joy that these people bring me. Try Four Peaks Brewing Company's beers if you don't get a chance to go down to the Haunted Brewery Tour, wherever you get your beers, and make sure to enjoy them responsibly. Must be 21 years or older. Elizabeth says, but everyone likes tendies. So
yeah, there is one person who orders chicken tendies everywhere they go at
you?
this table, and
Is that you?
It's not Jesse.
Oh my gosh!
Listen, I have a sensitive tongue, and sometimes I don't know what it's gonna do. Tendies are always the same.
I can't be getting this jalapeno burger. I don't know how my night's gonna go after that. Oh, great stuff. Of course, we have some updates from the American League Championship Series. The evil Astros took a 2-0 lead over the evil Yankees. And I don't know what. Like, it's like I don't care. And I also fear that whoever comes out of this is going to be the winner. There is no real surprise here, I don't think. The Astros took care of business at home, right? So they did what they did, and now the New York goes back to New York. It's all about if the Astros can actually take care of business there. But does anybody care who wins between this series?
No.
I mean, really?
No. I mean, baseball-wise, the Astros are probably the most complete team in all baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm rooting for whoever goes out of the National League. I don't care.
Right. I mean,
like,
no matter who comes out.
It's not like there's a winner out of this series.
No, there's no winner at all.
Nobody's going to be rooting for them in the World Series. And that's all there is to it.
It's going to be people that live in those towns and are fans of those teams.
It's Houston and a bunch of bandwagons like in New York, and like that's it.
It's the worst case scenario. Jesse?
Framber Valdez is a monster.
I mean,
he's so good.
But his name's Framber. And he's had to live like that his entire life with Framber. I'd be a monster too, just in the fucking gym working out angry because my name was Framber.
Framber Valdez in the regular season had a ground ball rate of 66.5%. The next highest for a qualified starting pitcher is 56.7. It's like 10% higher than the next highest guy.
That's crazy.
Not only that, but he got 25 whiffs in the game yesterday. That is a lot of swing and misses in one game. No, 25 is like insane. So to do what he does, I mean, he might be the most underrated starter in baseball. I don't think
it has been for a while.
Yeah,
he's been doing this for a while.
He's been really good for a while. Everyone knows Justin Verlander, who's probably going to win the Cy Young Award for good reason, but Framber Valdez is not far behind in that battle, and he showed how good he can be. One thing I will say is that Aaron Judge very nearly hit a home run in this game, and the exit velocity on that ball was 106 miles an hour, and it just fell short. Kyle Tucker made a nice play at the fence. I don't know if it would have been a home run. I think he was more robbed of extra bases there. Alex Bregman hit a 3-run home run, which was all of the runs that the Astros scored. The exit velo on that was 91 miles an hour. And I think the expected batting average was something like 0.40. So there's a case to be made. The Astros got a little lucky here with a 91 mile an hour batted ball going over the fence and scoring them 3 runs, whereas Aaron Judge fell short with 106. But you know, baseball is going to be baseball, and those kinds of things happen. So
we can find out if it would have been a home run. Let's ask Would It Dong?
Would It Dong? Would It Dong is always a good source.
We gotta find it. We'll get there.
You look that up. I'm going to give you guys a reason why. Look, we've said we are a Phillies Stan account. You guys voted for us to be a Padres Stan account. Barely. But if we needed more evidence as to why you might want to root for the Padres, because, of course, we're going to have to root for whoever comes out of the National League, look no further than Joe Musgrove bringing a Polaroid camera into the dugout all season long and taking pictures of some of their favorite moments with said Polaroid camera. And I know Danielle can probably appreciate this because he put together a wonderful collage of Polaroid pictures from their season, kind of as a way to inspire them, but as a way to also remember the good times. And when asked about Drickson Profar to look through all the pictures and pick his favorite, he just said, "Man, all of them." You know, like it's like for someone, it kind of reminds me in a way, like I annoy my friends sometimes with my selfie taking with them and my picture taking when we go out and do events, right? I annoy most people with that. My wife, my friends, my coworkers, it's always actually they appreciate it. They know why I'm doing it. But my wife and my friends hate it, right? Until I send them that little video that Apple made of our pictures from the weekend, and then they're like, "Aw," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I did that." Maybe
take
next
pictures
time.
wherever you go.
That's right.
Take candid pictures of your friends.
That's right.
Do it.
Oh, the candid pictures are the best, especially right when they're not looking.
They're gonna act like they're gonna act like they're gonna be so annoyed. Like, oh, put the phone away, be in the
Right.
No, you're gonna want to remember these things.
This lady is the one that took the best picture of me ever. The picture of me and Tori laughing about Jesse falsely heckling him and using the F word around small children. It wasn't Jesse, but it's still hilarious that Tori thinks it was. Now, Danielle took that picture of me. That is one of my favorite pictures I've ever been a part of. And like again, it's all about those moments, right? It's all about especially even in the moment you don't want them taken, for you to go back and see them at a later time. Trust me, as someone that's lived quite a while and almost hated every picture I've ever been in, they're worth it, right?
Oh, I can attest to that. Living quite a while and hating every picture you've been in until very recently.
Absolutely.
I can attest to that one.
Absolutely.
Just take candid pictures of your friends.
Yeah.
They'll get over it when they see the picture.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways, Aaron Judge.
Oh.
Would it dong?
Would it dong in 2 of 30 MLB ballparks?
Oh, just 2. Oh, well.
Just 2.
Aaron Judge, I mean, it was
345, launch angle 28 degrees, 2 of 3.
Does it tell you which ones it would dong in?
I'm sure we can find it somewhere.
Right.
I didn't go that far.
it exists somewhere. Aaron Judge was 1 for 4 yesterday with a single, and these were his exit velocities: 111.7, 106.3. That's the one we just talked about. 103.9. That was a fly out, and then the single was 101.4.
He hits the ball hard.
So his softest hit ball was his only hit. All of the other ones were a line out, and then he had 2 fly outs. So anyone making the case that Aaron Judge like sucks in the playoffs or something like that,
yeah,
I don't really buy into it. It's such a small sample size, and he's hitting the ball so hard. You know, it's not like he's striking out every time he goes up there or anything. So. But yeah, the Yankees didn't
Baseball
win
is
the
the dumbest game.
It really is.
It's the dumbest game. It's so stupid, and I love it so much. Yankee Stadium would have had to been the other one.
Yeah.
Would have been one.
Yeah.
Minute Maid and Yankee Stadium. Someone said Fenway.
Well, it would have been Minute Maid because it was out at Minute Maid.
Right, it was out
at Minute Maid.
Yeah. we have empirical evidence.
It would not
See,
dong
that's what I
At least
get
not
for-
with Kyle Tucker
That's
playing
what I
defense.
get for trusting Michael McDermott in the comments. Michael, you're done. Never mind. I rescind my offer for you to come join us right now.
Chase
anyway.
Field might be the other one.
Yeah.
There's a good chance it might be Chase Field, the other one. Anyways.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, we'll have a chance for us to all love baseball together. Speaking of loving baseball, out at the Arizona Fall League Home Run Derby, which is coming up, and we want you guys to come meet us out there. November 5th at Sloan Park, 6:35 p.m. Meet us out in the outfield. That's where we will be. We will be out there. We will be waiting for fly balls, and we will be catching them. Jesse's going to bring a glove and protect me the whole time. So join us out there. Get your tickets there. We might have some tickets to give away to some of you guys, so stay tuned for that. But make sure to put that on your calendar, November 5th. Join us for some hot Arizona Fall League Home Run Derby action.
And I'll be there too.
There we go. Don't be
She'll
fooled
get some
by the
candid
picture,
shots
though.
of you.
Don't be fooled by the picture we just showed on the screen, because it looks like the thing that's outside of Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
But we're not meeting at Wrigley Field.
No.
Don't go to Wrigley.
No, don't go to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, Sloan Park.
All of our Chicago listeners, make sure to show up here because we know there's so many of you. So make the flight here and join us out at the Arizona Fall League. Of course, new customers over at the DraftKings Sportsbook can bet $5 on any NBA team to win on Moneyline and you'll get $200 in free bets if your team wins, like the Suns did on opening night, right? This guy was there for it. I still loved his analogy about basketball, higher seed being beat by a lower seed, right? Like, because that really is something that most people just think of as being cool when it happens. It doesn't happen regularly, but when it happens in basketball, it just happens. No one says like, we need to change this playoff format. You know what I mean? Like, let's.
I mean, it was a 7-game series, a little different
whatever,
maybe,
you know what
but
I mean.
the Suns also didn't get a bye.
That's
so.
right. That's true too. But anyway,
It's been 5 games for so long.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Nothing's changed. It's just the excuses have changed.
The Always Sunny meme. Was somebody somebody get knocked out in the first round?
Yeah, basically. Make sure to boost your winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. It's simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use our promo code of PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and you will get those $200 in free bets should your money line NBA bet win. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And also make sure to check out our friends at More Furniture. Of course, you want to get ready for NBA season. You want to. It's going to be a long Suns season of us winning all sorts of games. So make sure your house is ready. I said make sure twice there, and I don't even know how that was possible. But again, make sure your house is ready for basketball season.
Make sure that you make sure.
More Furniture fall sale over at morefurniture.com. You receive a $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. I'd like to thank Danielle so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here and for the picture of me and Tori. That's still, I can't thank you enough for that.
That's why you got the invite.
That's really why you got the invite. Michael McDermott, his invite has been rescinded. Of course, we covered that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Of course, in the meantime, you can get us on Twitter. I am at Cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Danielle is at Abracadanielle.
Yes.
Abracadanielle.
Nice.
Of course, our show's at PHNX_DBacks, and all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We appreciate you guys taking time to join us today. We thank you so much. On behalf of everyone here, we appreciate you guys. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you stop making excuses for why the Dodgers got knocked out of the playoffs.